Hello, world. Excuse me. It is Tuesday, March 2nd, and it's a beautiful day this morning. Although it's slightly below freezing, but blue skies, sun's starting to come up as I'm doing this. It's looking like it's going to be a really nice day. Might be a good day to get out and get some vitamin D. Today's devotion is entitled, and let me pull it over to my other screen here so I'm looking at the camera while I'm reading it, or looking in your direction. The devotion for today is entitled Fearless Women by Kaji Dosha. Kaji bases the devotion upon Psalm 128, verses 1 through 2a, New International Version. Blessed are all who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to him. You will eat the fruit of your labor. Kaji writes, I've been reading quite a bit about fearless women. When women step forward at great personal risk to share stories that are critical to the nation's self-awareness, they are often described as fearless. I wonder about this. The personal risk I mentioned might include seeking, with or without receiving it, witness protection. It could mean running or begging for the funds needed to increase security protocols for themselves or for their families. It could mean losing friends and family who do not understand the reasoning behind their brave stances. What could drive this courage? I cannot speak to their motivations, though I applaud them. Perhaps the question we should ask isn't, how are they not afraid? Perhaps we should ask, who do they fear most? God has spoken. God has commanded. We are mandated to fear God before anyone else. The fear of God is meant to pivot immediately to the love of God, to the reception of the mercy of God, to the gratitude for the intervention of God, to trusting God's ultimate power over any human's temporal power, whatever pain that temporal power could wield. My suggestion to all of us who wonder about this world-changing courage, to all of us who view these fearless women as some form of superhuman superhero, unbothered by things that might terrify the rest of us, you don't need to live fearlessly. Being afraid could save your life. Instead, focus on the fruits, for the one far more powerful than any of them blesses the fruits of your living love. Excuse me, in Kaji's prayer. Blessed are the fruits of your love, O God. Prosper them over our fears. Amen. A couple things I think of when I read this devotional is, one is, what does it mean to fear the Lord? Excuse me. Does it mean that we are to be afraid of God? I don't think in terms of being scared. It really does. Because the word that is often interpreted as fear in the Bible actually means something more like awe, just overwhelming, an overwhelmingness of the person, to be in awe of God, which is far different than being frightened of God. So being afraid, or fearing God, doesn't necessarily mean being afraid of God, but understanding and respecting the awesome power of God. And I think the other thing she connects with is that fear pivots immediately to the love of God. If you think of all of creation and the wonder of everything, and I, as a science-based person, I think of like the more I know, the more I'm in awe. This world is an incredible place. The creation is an incredible place, and how it all works and how it all comes together. And even if thinking of evolution, how evolution would work is just awesome. And so who wouldn't be in awe of God looking at all of that? But as she says, you don't need to live fearlessly. Being afraid could save your life. Because I think it's important to be aware of where we are and who we are, and our surroundings, and what's going on in the world, because there are some things that are probably, it's important to be afraid of. Not necessarily being fear of, but to be afraid of. And make choices appropriately. But it's still, it comes to the love of God. And that needs to take the place in our heart that overcomes all fear. The love of God. There's far too much fear in this world, and people use fear to maintain control and to have power. And the only way to overcome that is through love. Hope you have a good day. Like I said, I hope you have a chance to enjoy some of that sunshine today. I'm kind of dressed casually today because I got to change a water heater in my basement in a little bit. I just needed to get a few things out before I actually undertook that. So hope you have a good day. I will talk to you again tomorrow.